Someone asked about sound words. So today, we're also going to talk about some onomatopoeia. Whew, that's a heck of a word. Onomatopoeia. Okay? These are words that are sounds. So there are sounds in the world around us. And when you hear it, it's just a sound, right? But how do you say that sound? Well, we use letters and words to try to describe what we hear. And so I picked a few words, I think 10, maybe 10 onomatopoeia for us to learn that have the sound meaning. It means the sound, but also it has another way to use the word. And you can use these words day by day. So I chose 10 really common onomatopoeia that we can use in our daily life. Okay? So let's take a look at these onomatopoeia. And if you are interested in calling and chatting, you can send me a message at any time. We can stop the talk about onomatopoeia and talk about your cooking. Okay? And if you have any questions, please put a message in our Facebook group, okay? Or, in the Facebook chat would be great. So, today we're looking at some onomatopoeia, and first we're going to look at some sounds of people. People make sounds. I'm a person, you're a person, we all make sounds, and so we can use some words to describe the sounds we make, okay? The first one is chomp. Chomp is a fun word. And you can see this guy, he is chomping a sandwich. Chomp is the sound of a big bite. So big bite sound. When someone bites into something, you hear chomp. Well, maybe not, but that's what we describe the sound as. Chomp. Okay? You can kind of hear it. Chomp. A little bit. So anytime someone makes a big bite, that's a chomp. And you can use this as a verb to mean eat noisily. So we have the name, what the sound is, what we're describing, and then a way to use that word in other ways. This one's pretty close to the same. It's the sound of eating something loudly. So how do we use it? We use it to describe when someone is eating noisily. They're making a lot of sound. Okay? Chomp, chomp, chomp. So this is describing me. I like to chomp on chips when watching movies. So here you can see that we're using the word chomp as a verb. I like to chomp on chips when watching movies. And you can imagine I'm sitting there watching a movie and you hear chomp, chomp, chomp. Okay? So that one's pretty straightforward. Chomp is the sound of eating, and so it means eating maybe loudly or eating a lot. Okay? That burger looks pretty good. I think he's enjoying it a little too much. Chomp. Okay? What's another sound word for people? Well, similarly, we had chomp is eating. We have slurp is a wet sound. It's a little bit yucky, I think. It's a wet eating or drinking sound. Slurp. So you can imagine, see this guy eating some ramen noodles. And well, I don't do this, but a lot of people, when they eat ramen noodles, they will slurp. You can hear the sound a little bit. Slurp. Ugh, I think that sound is disgusting. But to slurp is that wet sound when you're eating or drinking. Maybe you're slurping your noodles, or you could be slurping a drink like water. I don't want to make you sick, but we think that sounds a little bit like slurp. Okay? Slurp. Kind of funny mix of letters. And so, what does it mean? It means if it's a verb, you could say eat or drink noisily, like this guy eating his ramen. You could drink noisily too. So the sentence I wrote is, Chris slurped on his coffee while waiting for the bus. This is really common in America when it's cold outside. Where I come from, it's snowing and you're waiting for the bus. And so you're freezing, and so you need to slurp on a hot coffee to stay warm and stay comfortable. So you slurp it, okay? So you can use slurp as a verb. Chris slurped on his coffee. Just like how we said chomp could be a verb too. Now, what's another human sound? A hiccup. Hiccup? That's a hiccup. A hiccup is, well, it's a sound and it's a thing that happens to your body. Now, you have to be careful about this. In Chinese, it's the word 打嗝. But in Chinese, there are two meanings for 打嗝. In English, it could be hiccup. Hiccup is when the thing under your lungs has a problem. And so you go, that's called a hiccup. Maybe you drank too much water or something. Another meaning for 打嗝 is burp. Maybe you eat too much, so you go burp. B-U-R-P. A burp is a different meaning. But a hiccup is when you go many, many times and you can't control it. So that's a hiccup. And you can imagine a hiccup is if I'm talking and I have to stop a little bit. A hiccup is kind of a problem, right? I can still talk, but it's a small problem. So another meaning of hiccup is that we can call a hiccup a small problem. Yes, it could be the sound of me going hiccup, or it could be a hiccup, a small problem in daily life. This is a really common word. So the sentence I wrote is, there was a little hiccup at the start of the meeting. We couldn't turn on the projector. So having a little hiccup at the start of the meeting means there's a little problem at the start of the meeting. It doesn't destroy the meeting. You can keep going, but that little problem slows things down, okay? And what was that little problem? We couldn't turn on the projector. The projector is the thing that shoots the picture on the wall. So boom, puts a picture on the wall. And we didn't know how to turn it on. Or maybe there was a problem. A little problem, so a little hiccup. Okay? So those are a couple people sounds. Chomp, slurp, and hiccup. And you can use these in daily life. Now there are also onomatopoeia that are sounds of things. So let's look at a few of these. One sound of a thing is a boom. So a boom is an explosion sound. So boom. You can hear it, right? If you see fireworks, it goes boom. And so change that to a word, we just say boom. I heard a boom. Okay? And a boom is an explosion sound. Got it? Now, boom, because it's going boom, it goes from small to big, right? A firework is a small thing, but it makes a big light. And so boom can mean to grow or develop quickly. So it explodes. It gets really big, really fast. Okay? So for example, let's think about this person named Katie. Katie opened a coffee shop last month. Business is booming. So what does that mean? Does that mean the coffee shop exploded? No. Katie opened a coffee shop last month. Business is booming. That means business is growing really quickly. So that means her coffee shop is making lots of money. There are many customers, so it's doing really well. So boom means something grows fast, and usually it's a positive thing, like business is booming or the economy is booming. So something's getting bigger and better really fast, okay? Kind of like if you watch fireworks. Yes, it's an explosion, but it makes you happy. Now, another word for a thing, this is also kind of like an impact, something hitting something, is a splash. So when you jump into water, you hear a splash. So splash. You can hear shh. The SH is the sound of the water going down. Spl is the hit, and then shh is the water falling down. Splash. You can imagine it, right? So onomatopoeias are pretty cool in that way. So this is the water sound when someone jumps in the water or something hits the water. So you can imagine if a rock falls in the water, splash. That's a big event, right? So we can use the word splash to mean big news or to get attention. If people are in a swimming pool, just relaxing, and then someone jumps in the water, they make a big splash. It's exciting. Oh my God, he just jumped in the water. So big news or getting attention is a splash or making a splash. So let's go back to Kate's booming coffee shop. Kate introduced banana coffee at her cafe. It made a splash. So maybe she invented a new kind of coffee. There are not many places that have anything like banana coffee. And it's like, oh my God, what the heck is this? It made a splash. It was big news. Everybody was talking about it. So this is a good phrase when something exciting happens or you're describing something that everybody's talking about. Wow, this company really made a splash when they blah, blah, blah. So you could say, Katie's Cafe made a big splash when they introduced banana coffee. Whew. Katie and cafe, don't put that together. Oops. I made myself a tongue twister. Okay. And so another word for things happening in the world, sounds of things, is crash. So you probably know the word crash, meaning hitting and breaking sound. If two cars hit together, if they collide, you hear that sound. Crash. The krr is the smashing sound, and then shh is the sound after it. Crash. Okay? And a car crash is a really bad thing, and so we can take that word and put it to being a failure. Something fails, or if we're talking about money, maybe something drops in value. The price goes down, meaning in a bad way. That could be stock or money. So this is in the news right now. The price of the British pound crashed recently. So the British pound is money in England. And so the British pound, it crashed recently. They're in big trouble. So if something goes down in price, you could say it crashed. You could also say that about stock. Maybe you buy stock, 股票, and the stock is really high, but suddenly, boom, you can say, oh my God, the stock crashed, okay? Or maybe the economy is in trouble, so, oh my God, the economy crashed, okay? Another failure you could say for like your phone or your computer, if there's a problem with it and it stops working, you could say, oh, my computer crashed today. The screen turned blue, okay? So this is a good word to know. Now, next up, a couple sounds of animals. Animals make lots of sounds, and we can use these to describe the animals, but also describe other stuff. So first up is a hum. What kind of bird is this? Well, this is a hummingbird. So hum, you can hear it. Hum. That is a hum. Hum. So if you make that M sound, your mouth is closed and the sound comes from inside your body. A hum is a continuous low sound. So this bird is called a hummingbird because when it flies, it goes, you hear the sound hum. Okay? Hum can also be someone singing. That's humming. Okay? Now, because that sound is like, it continues and moves like that, we can use hum to mean very busy or crowded. That sounds kind of strange. Why? Well, if there's a lot of people in a room, you kind of hear this hum sound, like of many voices, many people walking around. So hum can mean very busy or crowded. So, for example, the market hummed with activity on the weekend. You can imagine you're in the market, you close your eyes and you just hear all that sound. Okay? The market hummed with activity, people running around and moving and stuff. Okay? Another animal sound is howl. Howl is the sound of a wolf. When a wolf cries at the moon. Not cry, but cry like shouting. When a wolf makes a sound at the moon, we call that a howl. Now you can hear it right in the word. Howl. Howl. Can you hear it? Howl. So a wolf's howl is the sound of a wolf. Now, howl is that sound, and we can apply that to other things that make a similar sound, like a strong wind. When the wind outside is really strong, it will howl like a wolf. Right? And so we can say that the wind is really strong and it's blowing. The wind howled outside as the typhoon approached Taiwan. So the typhoon is approaching Taiwan. It's coming closer. So the wind howled outside as the typhoon approached Taiwan. So you could say this all the time. Cecilia asks, crash also refers to falling in love, right? I've heard people ask this before, but usually we don't say that crash means falling in love. Usually. There is a song called Crash Into Me. Crash into me, yeah. And that's about falling in love. But we don't use crash for falling in love very often. There's a very close word called crush. To have a crush on someone. I'll just put it here. So to have a crush on someone means a secret love. So have a crush means like you have a secret love for someone. This is very common in high school. Like, oh, Sarah has a crush on Mike or something like that. Or I have a crush on blah, blah, blah. That's a secret. So to have a crush is a secret love, okay? But be careful, that's a U, not an A, okay? Crash, besides that song by the Dave Matthews Band, usually crash is not for love. Good question, though. Yeah, I've heard that before. Okay, where were we? So, howl is the sound of a strong wind. Two more, we're almost done. Don't fall asleep. Is a roar. Roar. You can hear it. A lion or a tiger sound is a roar. Roar. Just R-O-A-R. Roar. So roar is that loud booming sound. Oh, there's that word boom again. Boom. A roar. And so because these sounds are really loud and powerful, we can use roar to talk about something moving fast enough to make sound. So if a car goes by really fast, the car was roaring past. Roar. Vroom, really fast. And so it makes the sound almost like a lion. And so I don't know about you guys, but I got scared this morning at almost 6 o'clock in the morning. I heard a sound that scared me so much that I jumped out of bed. So airplanes roared overhead this morning. They scared the crap out of me. So this is a true story. So this morning they had practice for the Double 10 National Day celebration. So there were jets flying over Taipei. And I didn't know they were going to happen, so it was a big surprise. Airplanes roared overhead. So overhead means in the sky above us, and the airplanes roared overhead. Vroom. Oh, and they scared the crap out of me. So you could say they scared me, but if you say they scared the crap out of me, that means it scared me a lot, a lot, a lot. So, I actually fell out of bed and rolled on the floor. I was so scared. I thought we were in big trouble. So airplanes roared overhead. Or you could say a car roared by me on the highway. It's so fast that it actually is scary like a lion. Okay? And then one more. We have tweet. So tweet is a bird sound. There are other words for bird sounds like chirp, the bird chirped, but tweet has another meaning too. So you can imagine what a bird sounds like. Tweet, tweet, tweet. Sounds kind of close, right? And then that sound is tweet, but also people use this for the website Twitter. Twitter is not super popular here in Taiwan, very popular in America. I don't really use it, but I know a lot of people who do. And to use Twitter is called tweeting. So to posting on Twitter is what tweet means. You could use tweet as a noun. So a tweet, I read a tweet about blah, blah, blah. Or you could use tweet as a verb, meaning writing a message on Twitter. So be careful, this is only for Twitter. If you put a post on Facebook, that's posting. Same with Instagram is posting. But on Twitter, it's called tweeting. Okay? So the verb is, a lot of people like to tweet their opinions about everything. So I don't do this, but there are a lot of people out there that they like to tweet their opinions about everything. Meaning they like to post on Twitter and say how they feel about everything happening in the world. And it's a little bit too much, right? Sometimes you can keep your feelings to yourself. Tweeting too much can actually maybe cause fights and arguments and stuff like that. So this is another word that's really common on the internet when you're reading the news or reading people talking about what's happening in the world. You can see the word tweet all the time. Okay, and so that's a collection of, I think, 10 useful onomatopoeias. We had some onomatopoeias from people, so sounds of people. We had some oh my God, this word is too long, right? Onomatopoeia. It's too long. English is crazy, right? We had some words about things, and we had some words about animals too, right? And so a lot of these words are really useful day by day because you can apply them to other stuff. Today we only looked at 10, but you can find lists of many, many different words like this. And so if you're interested, you can look them up, or if you want some specific ones, you can ask me, like, hey, is there a word for this? Or how can we use this? you can always ask me questions. Okay? Yeah, so I think we can wrap up here for today. Hopefully you guys feel like you learned something new, something interesting, something fun. Oop, I'm hitting the wrong button. And if you have any other ideas of topics you want to learn about, please let me know. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.